Stellantis and LG Energy Solutions have just put out a news release to say construction of the multi-billion-dollar facility has now resumed. Work on the plant had been halted in a dispute with the federal and Ontario governments over compensation. Stellantis had been looking for something similar to the deal struck with Volkswagen to build its own electric vehicle battery plant in St. Thomas, Ontario. The CBC's TJ Deer joins us now live from Windsor. So TJ, what more do we know about the plant construction resuming?
Well, unfortunately, we don't know much about anything at this point, Andrew. We don't know how much dollars are attached to the deal. Stellantis didn't give any specifics in that news release. All they said is that they signed a binding agreement that secures the future of the plant and that they're honoring, quote, the commitments that were made by the Canadian government to level the playing field with the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act, also known as the IRA. Now, Unifor also released a statement, Unifor National, saying that they were pleased that a deal has been reached. Unifor National President Lana Payne said that she's proud that the union defended the future jobs that will be tied to this plant. We've also reached out to a number of federal and provincial officials. We received a statement from Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland she said that it's good for jobs and it will further solidify Canada's place as a world leader in the global electric vehicle supply chain. Now, we've yet to hear from Federal Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne's office. They said that details will be released when they're ready, and that was the same thing with Deputy Prime Minister Freeland as well. Now remember, construction stopped on the module portion of the facility a little over a month and a half ago. This was in response to the IRA offering massive incentives to automakers to set up shop in the U.S. to make clean energy products. Stellantis' move, as you mentioned, Andrew, came after Volkswagen struck that $13 billion deal in incentives with the federal government. Again, we don't have details of the deal, but in the meantime, construction on the cell portion of the battery plant will continue and the module portion will eventually resume.
And obviously, TJ, this is breaking this evening, so what kind of reaction, though, are you hearing so far?
Well, we spoke with a local Unifor president, Dave Cassidy. He's the president of Unifor Local 444. He said that he's not surprised that a deal was struck, but he's thrilled nonetheless. And he also emphasized the importance this will have on the 2,500 jobs directly tied to the plant, as well as the spin-offs that will be generated from this new EV battery plant. We also spoke with automotive expert Flavio Volpe earlier tonight. Here's what he had to say about it.
Very clear here that we reached a deal for the entire footprint. The commitments they made in 2021 with both levels of government, they're going to be resumed. We're going to see, we're all monitoring for what the cost is. I think we all know that the cost direction is similar to the tax credit they get in the U.S. and what we saw at Volkswagen. But very importantly for me, is a company that has spent 95 years making vehicles in Windsor and across Ontario with footprints that draw across Canada is committed to the next 100 years here. And we're very happy. I said from the beginning consistently that I was confident that the federal and provincial government were going to come together and bring this over the line with the company on its full footprint, and that's what we heard today.
And you heard Volpe mention earlier that the federal and provincial governments worked together to secure this deal with Stellantis and LG Energy Solutions. This came after some initial disagreement between Ottawa and Queen's Park about who should prop up how much money. Eventually, Ontario Premier Doug Ford told me that the province would be committing to a third of any potential deal with Stellantis and LG Energy Solutions. Now, again, the Volkswagen deal was for $13 billion in federal subsidies. We've yet to hear what the deal with Stellantis is worth. And now keep in mind, last year, the government signed a deal with Stellantis for $500 million. We'll just have to wait and see what the new figure is, and we'll be bringing you the reaction as it comes in.